Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, it's Friday, so today's payday for a lot of people. But hey, I want to give you guys a quick update. Remember a couple weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, I done the 10-pound challenge as everybody was doing the $5 challenge, and I just want to give you an update. I'm down from 212 down to 195 now, so I've lost some significant weight, and I'm continuing to roll. I hope you guys have continued to save money every month, and I hope the $5 challenge has helped to identify some things in your finances that you can work on. So, with that said, I want to move on to something else I've been thinking about a lot lately. Look, I grabbed a book a couple um, weeks ago that, has been on my list to read for a while. Uh, I, I would have to admit I've been a little hesitant because some of the contrary beliefs that are in it opposed to what I believe in regards to finance. And it's called Rich Dad Poor Dad. And this book may not escape many of you. Many of you may know and have heard about this book. And look, at this point in my journey, I've identified that I'm able to read people's material that has opposing views to my own, but I'm still able to learn something from them. I'm able to cherry pick from what they believe and find a lot of value in their material. And so the overall the overall vibe I'm getting from this book and what I can't help but to continue to meditate on is the concept of assets versus liabilities. And look, guys, we've all heard this concept, this term assets versus liabilities. Of course, we want to increase our assets and limit our liabilities. I don't think anybody really does it though. I don't really think people do that. Um, I think we get stuck in the rat wheel. We go buy stuff, so then we have to go to work and work for the man to pay for more stuff and to pay. Unfortunately, in the day and age we live in now, we go to work so we can pay back for stuff that we've already bought. And so we get ourselves in this rat wheel and we have all these liabilities. Even he mentions, and from what I understand, one of the biggest blow ups when he first written this book back in the 90s was that he said a house was not an asset, that it was a liability, and that created an uproar in the financial industry. But I have to agree with him. Like, look, houses go up and down in value, so I mean, in that aspect, it can be considered an asset, I guess. But here's the problem: is that when you own a house, it costs you money. It costs you money. Even if you paid for it in cash, it still costs you money because you know the toilet breaks, the water heater goes out, are you following me? So many things happen in a house that you have to upkeep. And so, in actuality, when it comes to your cash flow, a house is still ultimately a liability because it has the potential to pull from your income. Okay. And so it's technically still a liability. And I agree with that concept. Never thought of it that way, but it's the truth. And so what it really got me thinking is, and he identifies an asset as this: an asset is your money that is making you more money. Okay. And so, by that definition, if an asset is only things that are making you more money, it's not even necessarily money, but things that are making you more money, then a house can't be put in there. It can't be because it's not always making you money. Matter of fact, when we're talking about appreciation and depreciation of a home, that's 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 a toss of the dice, right? That's a roll of the dice. I mean, we learned that about 7 years ago, 8 years ago when we had the housing crisis. That's not guaranteed. What's guaranteed is that there's going to be upkeep on that house. That's what's guaranteed. And so an asset is something that continues to make you money. And I started to look at my financial situation, and granted, we look good financially speaking. Uh, like we've got our emergency fund. You guys know that I'm big on Dave Ramsey's aspect of his vision of finances, because it helps create a barrier. Once you get yourself out of debt and you build up your emergency fund, it builds that barrier between you and ever having to go back to debt. And that's what I love so much about it. The concept is that it creates, you get out of debt, you create this large emergency fund 3 to 6 months, and it distances you from ever going back where you fought so hard to get away from, and that is debt. Okay, and so for that aspect, I have great respect for that man and for the foundation he laid for so many people to come back and follow. Okay, but from an assets and liability standpoint, I looked at my financial situation. Said, look, yeah, we're comfortable. Yeah, we're financially stable, but my only income source is my job. And what happens if I lose my job? I have no income source. And so I've been really challenged and I've been constantly thinking about it. And with the fact that I'm doing the side hustles this month, oh my gosh, perfect timing. Because again, we're looking for avenues of bringing in more income, right? And so, I've been thinking about, I've always had this itching inside of me to get into real estate. Um, and I'm actually finally in a financial position to where I can start aggressively saving towards a goal like that. And so real estate has been something that's really been on my mind because I've always wanted to do that. Um, Real estate's not for everybody. Let's be clear about that. There's people in my family and in my life that I've seen that's real estate is a nightmare. If it's not something you like, it's not something you should do. I believe real estate is something I would personally enjoy. But if you don't enjoy it, it's a big headache. And oftentimes it's not profitable. It takes the right situation and the right entry point to make it financially successful. But and the right, uh, the biggest problem, as it is with most businesses, is having the right accounting procedures, hiring the right people to take care of the accounting so you're prepared when things happen. Having the proper financial blueprint and preparation for things that go wrong. So, anyways, assets and liabilities. What do you have in your asset column that is continuing to make you money? So, in other words, are you working towards a time where you don't have to work for the man anymore? I mean, I am. I enjoy my job. I like my job. I don't have a problem with my job, but there's a day coming where I would like to do. Look, if there is anything in the world I could choose to do, I can tell you my job is not it. Okay. That's my standpoint. There's a day that I look forward to where I'm not having to do this job because there's a job that I want to do more. I simply can't afford to do it now. I'm like a lot of you guys. I got a wife and 3 kids at home, and, I have responsibilities, but I can build my asset class now, my assets now, the things that I can purchase or the things that I can invest in that will continue to make me money until eventually I've got enough reoccurring income every month from my assets alone to replace my income that I make at my work. Okay. Now, again, I don't have a problem with my job. I love my job. I really do. I enjoy my job. But it's not, if I had to pick from anything in the world that I could do for a living, this wouldn't be it. I mean, it's not my number one. And so I'm working towards my number one. And, I hope this encourages you to start thinking and to start working towards your number one as well. Right. So look, I just don't plan on doing this forever. I just don't plan on doing this forever. I have other ambitions and I have other goals. And so this book and this concept of assets versus liabilities, what is my money doing to work for me? Now, look, I've got retirement accounts. I got 401k. I've got an IRA, but that's retirement savings. That's stuff I can't touch until I'm 59 and a half when the government considers me 60, which is 59 and a half. I can't touch that stuff until then. I'm not waiting until I'm 59 and a half if I don't have to. I'm ready to start doing this now and preparing now. I'm making a goal for myself. I truly don't know if I can attain it, but I got to start a plan. I got to get a plan together. And that plan is starting with the concept that I plan on having my first piece of real estate rental property by the time I am 40 years old. So I got approximately 5 years, 4 years, 4 years, 36. So I got approximately 4 years. And so I need a financial plan that starts getting me because I don't plan on I don't plan on taking on a mortgage for a rental property. If I'm going to do it, it's going to be with cash or very close to cash. And so I need a game plan now. And so now that I have a goal, now I got to start cracking some numbers and identify how much money I need to save monthly to get to my goal, which ultimately means I need to know how much money I plan on spending on my first piece of real estate, and then start cracking the numbers and finding out what kind of income I need to be saving, what kind of money I need to be saving monthly to attain that goal by the time I'm 40. And so that's the beginning of my plan. And then once I find out how much that number is, if I don't make enough money now to do that, I got to start finding some side hustles to help me get to that goal. And once I get to that goal, granted, I'm going to have a piece of real estate. We talk about proper houses are not assets, but it is a liability that it's being paid for. I'm not paying for that liability. I have an income source, which is AKA a tenant that's paying for that liability. And then once that liability is paid off, granted, then the only real liability is upkeep. Upkeep. And if I pay for cash for the property, the only upkeep, only cost I'm gonna have is upkeep. And so the rest of it's gravy, income, income. So then what I do once I have a paid for property, and I have that tenant paying me a percentage of their payment to me every month will go towards a savings account that is earmarked specifically for upkeep. And then I pay myself a specific amount of income. Starting to sound a lot like a job, right? Like I'm saving some of that money for to upkeep for the property, but then the rest of it is income. Income. Kind of like what I get every Friday when I work, right? And so that's kind of the concept is you build your asset classes up to enough to where you generate enough income off of your assets that then hopefully one day you get to do what it is that you want to do for the rest of your life. You get to a place of financial independence where you do not have to rely on a job anymore. You've created your own income based off of assets. And so, look, guys, I'm kind of square one right here. This is a part of my financial journey I have not stepped into yet. This is a first for me. And so I got a lot of learning to do. As my man John Acuff would say, I'm back to the land of learning. When you try something new, nobody gets to pass the land of learning. You have to learn. And so I'm 20 again in that aspect. I'm 20 again today. I've got to start learning. And so I'm reaching out to people that know about real estate, and I plan on learning as much I can between now and then so that I'm prepared when I turn 40. So, hey, I've thrown it out there, guys. My accountability is you guys. So I'm telling you guys now that 40 years old, I plan on having my first piece of real estate for the sake of renting. So my first rental property. So, all right, guys. Well, I've been on here for 13 minutes. I know you guys got things to do, and I do too. So everybody have a fantastic Friday, great weekend, and I'll see you Monday. Bye.